Hi girls, let's continue our lesson and let's continue our lesson, which is lesson multiplying powers with the same base. But first of all, let me open my PowerPoint. I'm trying to open my PowerPoint. I don't know. Okay, here I found it. So we discussed in this lesson, we discussed about multiplying powers with the same base. And I gave you the first problem, which is if you have the same base, just add the powers. That's what I did. I did it with you in basic numbers by using basic numbers. Then we started with some expressions. So we just by using the commutative property of multiplication and associative property, we can change the order, but we just did this in our mind. So I said just step one, multiply the numbers that you have and see the same base, just add their powers. So that's what I did in this part. I started with you here. I gave you introduction to scientific notation before I moved to exercise 3. So I gave you what is the meaning of scientific notation. So scientific notation, which is the way that I write, which will help me to write big numbers and small numbers, and it's the first number will represent a number between 1 and less than 10 times 10 to a power, could be positive and could be negative. So that's what we discussed. I showed you this example and I showed you the other one, this one, which is not in your book. I just want to review it before I start my main idea. So here in this idea, we analyzed first the units that we have, or the ratios that we have, or the rates that we have in another way, then to figure out the answer. So that's what I discussed with you. I will give you more problem in this section, but just I want to tell you, for example, in basic way, by using some letters. Before we discussed about this, if we have, for example, X, let's say, and we have, for example, here, we have, let me tell you, for example, I have Y, and then times X over Y, and then I have times, for example, let me say, just. So to get this one, I can just directly simplify this one with this one. That's what we did here with these quantities. That's what we wrote before. I wrote for you. I solved this with you in details. I'm just reviewing it with you to make sure that you understand the idea in another way. So first of all, I analyzed the quantities or the units that I have. So for the first one, again, 1 cubic meter of water has a mass about this 1 gram. So now I have how many grams this value in 1 cubic meter. So which means per meter, which means this is unit rate. I have, for example, if you remember before in grade 7, I was telling you, for example, if I have, for example, 3 kilogram for example, let me tell you, for example, which is the price, let's say $4, for example. Before in grade 7, to find the unit rate for each kilogram, for example, of apple for $4, to find for how many kilogram in how many dollar for each kilogram. So what did we do for this one? What did we do for this one to find that? We divided 4 over 3, which is, will be 0.753 for each kilogram. So that is for each kilogram, dollar per kilogram. So that's what we did in the last year. If you don't remember, I'm reminding you, which is the unit rate. Exactly same thing here, if you couldn't understand it. So again, with this part also, same thing, molecules of water in each gram. That's why I wrote a gram down. And so on. I simplified this one with this one. I simplified this gram with this gram. I had the molecules, and that's what I need. I did this one with you, which is exactly the same idea. I'm going to do this one with you. So first of all, we have a human body contain about 2.7 times 10 to the power 4 microliters. So microliter, which is this one, this quantity, it's like that. Let me continue and see of blood for each pound. Okay, so this number is microliter. For each pound, I can write it like this pound, which is IB for each pound. So that's the first unit for this number. Then each microliter of blood contains about 7 times 10 to the power 4 white blood cells. So this number represents how many cells in each microliter. It's cells per microliter, ml. Then about how many white blood cells? I mean, I need to find the cells are in the body of a 140 pounds for the person. So what will I gonna do to figure out this? I need to find the cells. Am I right? So cells, I'll write the quantities that I have. I have microliter per pound. So micro, it's like the mu here. This is a Greek letter. So M microliter over pound times what? Times this one, cells over microliter. Finally, I have this value, which is pound, which is the weight for the person. Now I can simplify. Look at this. It is like I'm dealing with variables. Cancel this one with this one. This pound with this pound. The remaining is only cells. That's what I need. Let's substitute the number and then see the value that I want. So 2.7 times 10 to the power 4 times, between the multiplication, 7 times 10 to the power 4 times 140. Okay, did they said use scientific notation? No, they said yes here. Write answer in scientific notation. So I must write my answer in scientific notation. So let me do that. I need to write this number in scientific notation. So I will rewrite this, the remaining thing, everything I will rewrite it. So 10 to the power 4 times 7 times 10 to the power 4. I'm rewriting all my expression. Then this one, how can I write this in scientific notation? My decimal is here. So I'm going to move it 1, 2 to make the decimal here. To make my number 1.4 times 10 to the power, since I moved the decimal 2 steps or 2 units to the left, I'm going to say plus 2 times 2. Now I can just take this number and this number and this number, multiply them all together, then write the result. So 2.7 times 7 times 1.4, which is equals to 26.46 times 10 to the power 4 plus 4, 8, plus 2, 10. 10 to the power 10. Is this in scientific notation form? No, because this should be less than 10. I have a 26. So that is equals to 2.6. Just estimate it here. Estimate this one into 5. So 5 times. I used 1. I went back 1. So I'm going to add 1 here. So 10 to the power 11. So that's the answer for this question, which is extra question for problem 3. Let's move. Make sure that you try it once you watch my video. Now we will gonna move to something different now. We will have exponent, we will have them as a fraction. I mean, we will have, for example, let's say, for example, 16 to the power 1/4, for example. Now, I mean by this one, what is the number when I multiply it by itself will be 16. What is this number? So here, if you think about this, that will be 2. Why it's 2? Because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that will be equals to 16. So what is the number when I multiply it by itself will be equals to 16. This is the idea. If you have a fraction power like this, and if the denominator 1 over something, you are going to look at a number. Once you multiply it by itself, according to this number, like here 4, you will look at a number. Once you multiply it by itself 4 times, you will get this base. That's why this is equals to 2. So keep in your mind, there is one more thing I want to tell you about it. This fraction represent root. This is represent the 4th root. The denominator of the fraction will represent the degree of the root. I will give you more details about this in lesson 7.5, inshallah. But here, for this lesson, I'll just give you introduction for that lesson. So again, let me rewrite my example. So 16 to the power 1/4, that's exactly same as if you say that is the 4th root. I don't know if maybe you don't have big idea about the roots. I will give you more details, inshallah, in the coming slides. So this is the idea. If you have like this, for example, 9 to the power 1/2. You have 2 here. So what is the number? Once you multiply it by itself, you will get 9. This number is 2. But also, this value 9 to the power 1/2, how can I rewrite this one? That is the square root of 9, which is 2 here. If you write it for the square root, you don't need to write the index here. You don't need to worry about it. If you write it, it's not wrong, no problem. Don't worry about that. I will give you more details about it, inshallah, in lesson 7.5. Let's start. My basic idea here. So 81 to the power 1/4. So 81, all this to the power 1 over 4. Let me do with you two ways. The first way, second way. By using calculator, just click on the, press the button like that, and then in the top, there is a small thing like this. Then put here 81. On the top, since you have a fraction, go again and then put the fraction bar or the fraction sign, and then put your number 1 over 2. Oh, 1, sorry, over 4. And then try to find the answer. The other way, I will think about what is the number when I multiply it, the same number, when I multiply it by itself, I will get 81. What is this number? I know 9 times 9, it's 81, right? I can factor also this 9 into 3 times 3, and here also this one times 3 times 3. Great. I found the number. When I multiply it by itself 4 times according to this one, I will get 81. So that's the number. So that is equals to 3 directly. So this is the idea. Let's have more exercises. Now, this is 16 to the power 1/4. So 16 to the power 1/4. I rewrite it again because I feel it's not clear. I already did this example. What is the number when I multiply it by itself? 4 times it's 2, right? So 16 is equals to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That means the answer here is 2. Again, as I said, you can do it by calculator, but I have to tell you the basic idea or the basic way in case if you are doing tests, you don't need to use calculator in it. 27 to the power 1/3. 27 to the power 1/3. I'm looking for a number. When I multiply it by itself 3 times, remember here 27 to the power 1/3. 1 over 3. So this exponent, the denominator for this exponent is 3. So I will look at the number. 3 times 3 will give me 9. 9 times 3 will give me 27. Great, that's what I need. So 27. So the answer for this one is equals to 3. Because 3, I repeat it, multiply it by itself 3 times, and that's what I need. The power here is 3. Now the last one, I'm looking for a number. When I multiply it by itself 2 times, I will get 64. What is this number? It's directly 8 because we memorized that 8 times 8, which is the multiplication table, equals to 64. And that's what I need because the power here 1/2. That's it. So the answer here is 8, which is very easy to solve. Again, you can do it by calculator. You can press the button, which is like that. Once you press this button, which is look like this, you will get in the calculator, you will get this one. And on the top, there is a small button. And this bottom again, you will go and then you will put a fraction. 1 over, for example, it depends on the example that you have. So if you try this one, 8 to the power 1 over 3, which is equals to, what is the number once you multiply it by itself? You will get 8. 2. 2 times 2 times 2, which is equals to 8. So 3 times the number when I multiply it by itself 3 times. So that is equals to 2. Definitely I'm doing this step. It just more explanation. The answer is immediately 2. Now what is the number? When I raise it to multiply it by itself 4 times, I will get 625. So what should I do here? If you don't have calculator and you don't know what is this number, make a prime factorization in a corner. Let's make a prime factorization. I'm sure 100% you learned how to find the prime factorization, but I will remind you now how to do it. So prime factorization, 20 to 625. So first of all, what is the prime numbers first? I'm sure 100% you know what is the meaning of a prime numbers. Prime numbers is the numbers that I cannot divide them by any number other than it their self and one only, which is like for example 2, but I cannot divide this number by 2 because this number is not even number, this number is odd. This number, the beginning of this number, the ones for this number is 5. So the only thing that I can divide this one directly by 5, the prime number that I can divide it by this one, it's 5. Just take in a corner. If you don't have calculator again, 200, 5 by 5. So that will be here, first of all, you have 1. So that's a 1. So that is a 12. Then you will multiply by now, but the best thing is 2. So that is 2, that's 10. Then you have 2 and then 5, which is finally 5. So here it will be 125. Now again, you have the ones 5. You can again divide by 5. If you think about 2, no, you cannot. If you said 3, you cannot. If you have say 4, 4 is not a prime number because I cannot divide it by other than 4. I can divide it by 2, so it's not a prime number. If you say 5, that's what we wrote. So again, I will take 125. Actually, I know that when I divide 125 by 5, it will be 25. So again, divide this by 5, it will be 5, then finally 5, then 1. So the prime factorization for 625, it is equals to 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. So I found a number. When I multiply it by itself 4 times, I will get 625, which is equal. I can rewrite this one into 5 to the power 4. If you just, so that is directly equals to 5. Let me start with the basic idea. I will give you more details about this. With the 1000, what is the number when I multiply it by itself? Definitely 10 times 10 times 10, 3 times. So that is, so the answer for this one is directly equals to 10 only. This is just more explanation. So this is the idea from this part. Let me move to the next problem. What about if you have now 64, you have the denominator 3 over 2. Oh, here I have to do one thing, because I learned until now if I have the denominator 1 half, I will think about a number when I multiply it by itself according to the denominator, not the numerator. So to fix this problem, I will rewrite this like this. You know that 3 over 2, it's equals to 1 over 2, right? Plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2, right? So here I can rewrite this one like this. Since if I have the same base, I can add the powers. So 64 to the power 1 over 2 times 64 1 over 2 3 times 64 1 over 2. Now that's easy. I know what is the number when I multiply it by itself. 2 times, 2 times because the denominator 2. So that is equals to 8. Again, this will give me times 8. That will give me also 8. So finally, 8 times 8, 64. 64 times 8, which is equals to 64 times 8, which is equals to 512. 512. That's the idea. Let's do one more problem. So here we have 25. So let me rewrite this. 25 to the power 3 over 2. I'll rewrite this one. 25 to the power, same idea. I'll repeat it, 1 over 2 times 25 to the power 1 over 2 times 25 to the power 1 over 2, which equals to, I know that, what is the number when you multiply it by itself? 2 times again, I'm looking for the denominator, which will be my root in the coming lessons. So that is equals to 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 times 5, that is a 25. 25 times 5, that is equals to 125. Yeah, so here we have this. This is multiplication. This is multiplication. I just would like to make it bigger. I'm trying to make my handwriting organized as much as I can. So 27 to the power 2 over 3. So that is equals to, again, 27 to the power 1/3 times 27 to the power 1/3. I will repeat it 2 times according to the denominator. Now I will use my denominator. What is the number when I multiply it by itself 3 times? I will get it 27. We did it before a few minutes, which is 3. So 3 times 3. 3 times 3, which is 9. The last one, we have 16 to the power 3 over 4. Again, according to the denominator, I'll repeat this. 16 to the power 1 over 4 times 16 to the power 1 over 4 times 16 to the power 1 over 4. Now, what is the number when I multiply it by itself? 4 times, I will get 16, which is 2. So 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, which is 8. Again, you can do this by calculator, as I said before. Again, you will press the button like this, and then you will put inside this your number that you need. And for this one, you will click on the fraction bar, and then you will put your fraction, the fraction that you have. But that's the basic idea, and you must know what is the basic idea and what is behind this. Now here's more exercises. So this one, which is similar to the previous one, which is exactly the same idea as I did with this one, exactly the same. 16 to the power 3 or 4. So that is repeated. 9, we can do it. 9 to the power 5. This is 5 over 2. So I'm going to say 1 over 2, 5 times 9. 1 over 2, 5 times 9, 1 over 2 times 9, 1 over 2 times 9, 1 over 2. Then what is the number when I multiply it by itself? I will get 9, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So that is will be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Once you multiply it by itself, you will get 200. You can definitely multiply them since I allow you to use calculator, so you can multiply them. Finally, you have the last one, so 64 to the power 7. So I'm not going to, because there is no space, which is the power, I will make sure that it is power 7, because I'm not sure that this is power 7. I cannot see it well. Yeah, it is 7 over 3, but I'll give you directly the result. Make sure that you try it. So that will be big number, will be very big number. So that will be 16,384. That's exactly the same idea. Or you can just find it by calculator, as I told you. So here we have multiplying powers with the same base, which is review, just review. If you have A and A, just add their powers. Here is example, just repeating. Now simplifying expression with rational exponent. So in the previous part, we simplified, we did same thing, but we had the powers here. It is not a fraction like this. So we have to focus on that. First step, step 1. Do I have numbers? Yes, I have 2, 3, here 1, here is 5. So that's what I will focus on. So 2 times 3, definitely in your book you will see they just change the order, but I can do this directly in my mind. So I can say directly 2 times 3 times 5 in my mind and just do the calculation. 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 5, it's 30. So the first number that I have, 30. Now I will focus on the variables or the exponent that I have. A with A. So let me write them beside each other to avoid confusing. So that is A to the power 2 over 3. I think it's 2 over 3, but I will double check. So it's 2 over 3. 2 over 3, yes, it is 2 over 3 times, that's multiplication, big dot, it should be a little bit up and in the middle. A, again, the other A that I have, this one, which is 1/3. Okay, they are same base. I can add their powers, but step by step, let me write beside each other. Let me write B's. This B and this B, I will write them beside each other. So that is B to the power 3 over P to the power 1 over 4. So that is 1 over 4. 1 over 4 times, I just changed the order. I did not do anything. I just used commutative property and associative property to change the order of multiplication. So that's why I could change the order, B to the power 1/2. So that is 1 over 2. If you have the same base, you are going to add the powers, which is depending on the same concept that we had. So let's do our calculation with 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3. So that is equals to 3 over 3. 3 over 3, which is equals to 1. So that is here. The calculation will be from here, A to the power 1. So if you write A to the power 1 or not, it will be exactly the same idea. Now, let's move to, I will drop my 30 as it is. Now, this one, the last one, 1 over 4 plus 1 over 2. I have to multiply this one by 2, the denominator and the denominator to make them same. You can do it by calculator if you want, it's up to you, times, but I have to start with you with the basic thing, B to the power So here it will be 3, 3 plus 1, it will be 3 over 4. So that is will be 3 to the power 3 over 4. So that's the result. Again, let me say for you or summarize your idea again. First of all, take the numbers that you have. If between them all multiplication, just multiply the numbers that you have. Then look if you have the same base. Just write them beside each other to avoid confusing. Then, if you have the same base, add their powers. Just in corner or in your margin, just calculate them, or you can calculate them by calculator and then directly write the result. Same thing with the other one. If you have negative power, don't forget to move it down. If you have 0 power, just put it 1. Let me give you more exercises. Let me do with you these step by step. So I'm going to do one by one. So for question A. So A we have, I will rewrite it for you again. 2, let me change the color to have it more clear. So we have 2c to the power 3 over 5, 3 over 5 times 2 to the power c 1 over 5. Now, step 1. If I have numbers, I will multiply them together. Okay, so 2 times 2, it's a 4. The next step, which is writing these beside each other, no need, because this here, it's so easy. I can just do it in my mind. So in a corner, 3 over 5, same base. These are same base, both of them C, plus 1 over 5. That will be, they already have the same denominator. So that is 4 over 5. So that is 4c to the power 4 over 5. I'm done from this one. Let me do the next question. So let me do C. So C is, so that is A. So we have B to the power, I'll rewrite it because it's not looks clear, 2 over 3 times C to the power 2 over 5, 2 over 5 times B to the power 4 over 9 times 10 to the power 9 over 10. So what should you do if you have something like this? You don't have numbers. All the coefficient here 1, no problem. Next thing, do I have same base? Yes, I have these, they have the same base. I'm going to add their powers, so I will immediately just add their powers. So B to the power 2 over 3 and 1 over 9. So 4, sorry, this is 4. 4 over 9. So just calculate them and then directly write the result. So once you calculate this one and directly write the answer, you will get B to the power. After your calculation, I'm not doing the rest of the calculation. So B to the power 10 over 9 times C to the power. After you do the calculation for 2 over 5 and 9 over 10, definitely you need to multiply this fraction, the denominator and the denominator by 2. So you will have, will be 13 over 10. That's it for this one. I'm going to do with you B. So let's do B here. B we have, it's easy, it's basic, that just we have two bases. The first one, n to the power 1/3 times n to the power 4/3. So that is equals to n to the power, same base, n and n, between the multiplication, add the powers, 1/3 and 4/3, it will be 5/3. Even the denominator is already ready and easy. So 5/3. I'm done from this one. The last one, first step by step. 3 and 3, 7, 7. These all the numbers that I have. Just multiply them all together. 3 times 7 times 3 times 7, which is equals to 441. 441. Now I'm fine. I'm done from the numbers. Now I will focus on the exponential things. So I will see J here and this J. So let me rewrite them for you. So J to the power 2/3 times J to the power 1/6, 1/6 times, let me change for you the color. So m and m here. So that is will be m to the power 1/4 times m to the power 3/2. Now I have the same base beside each other, and I will add just their powers. So once I add their powers, so that will be 4, 4, 1, J to the power, take these, add their powers. You can add them by calculator, or you can add them like the way that I did here. So it will be 5/6. So that is 5/6 times m to the power 7/4. So that's the idea from the lesson. Let me just, if you want to have more problems, this is exactly the same idea. I don't want you to get boring. I'll directly just write for you the answers for these exercises. Make sure that you try them. If you need more explanation, most welcome to write. So for question 28, I'm going to write for you only the answer so you can try them. So for question 28, the answer is 5/1/8/4 b to the power 7/3. The other one, t to the power 7/3 also. For question 29, you have 196 d to the power 7/3 times d to the power 7/3. For question 30, you have 400 RS. So that's for this part. Just make sure that you try them, which is exactly the same as this one. So that's for this lesson. I just want you to know that there is some challenging question. I would like just to share with you. If I'm telling you simplify each expression, so that's extra thing to complete your time. So that's extra. So that will be question 52. in your book, page 431. 431. So that will be, the question said simplify each expression. The expression is 5x plus 1 times 5 1 minus x. Do you scared if you have something like this? No. My students confident, my students always excellent. So I have same base between the multiplication. That means I will add the powers. 5x plus 1 plus this result, 1 minus x. So this x with the x, this x will be cancelled, right? So that will be 5 to the power 1 plus 1, 2. You know what is 5 to the power 2, which is a 25 times 5. 5 times 5, which is 25. That's it. One more question. If you have, again, something like this, which is a question, that's a question, let me organize my work. So that is a question 51. You have t plus 3 times t plus 3 the power here for this one is, I forgot to write the power, 4 over 5. The power here is 2 over 5. Do you scared? No, you should not scared at all. This is exactly the same as this one. It's stuck. That means these two between the multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite what I have, this base, all of it, times, plus, 3, all this to the power. Just add them, 4 over 5, 2 over 5, so that is 7 over 5. Exactly same idea, but it's just changing a little bit in how the question look like. So same thing for exercise 50, exactly the same idea. Now I might ask you, for example, here also question 31, for example. In question 31, I'm telling you complete. So 5 to the power 2 times 5 to the power, how much you need to complete this, equals to 5 to the power 11. So what should you say here? You will think about the number. Once you must add it to 2, you will get 11. So what is that number? It is 9. Because 9 plus 2, it's 11. If I have same base, I will add the power. So that's the story. That's the idea. Now again, if you have, for example, let me write here, question. I think that's enough from the question. That's enough for this question. Good luck, girls. Hope you feel good with this lesson. You have homework for this lesson. Please make sure that you check my my files and check my notes and see all my posts. Please don't forget to send the homework privately. Thank you so much, girls. Bye.